back when I was 14, like we barely had jerseys with our own logos kind of thing, and people really didn't know we existed at all. And now being, on our way to our first world championship and being seen with the PWHL and like having commercials and big companies and stuff support us and see us and sponsor us in the past has been just like such a big deal.
Hello and welcome back to Rinkside Rundown, your go-to podcast for everything women's hockey. I'm your host, Chris Sinclair, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Alanna Mah, a forward with the Canadian women's para hockey team. Elena, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm really excited about this conversation. As with every hockey journey, there is a starting point. For you, it's a little bit different because at 6 months old, you were diagnosed with neuroblastoma. I wanted to know how those early experiences, how did that shape you, and how did you ultimately find your way to para hockey?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, neuroblastoma is a form of cancer. So I had it around my spinal cord as a baby, as you mentioned. So I guess just growing up as someone who is with a disability, just your classic, like in the hospital, doctor's appointments, all of that. I obviously never really thought much of it because I was just kind of my life and what I was always been used to. So that really didn't change too much of my childhood. That's like the barriers I faced. I use a wheelchair and sometimes I use crutches to walk as well. Like that didn't really, I don't know, phase me too much because that was just my normal. So I did all I could to keep up with my classmates, friends, and such. So that part didn't really, like I said, phase me. But I did eventually find para hockey, which completely changed my life. I always knew I wanted to play some sort of sports. I was always interested in that type of thing. I found through the Paralympic Sports Association in Edmonton, soccer first. I think maybe when I was a little bit younger before that, I did swimming a little bit. So that was, I guess, maybe my first sport. But it's kind of when I got into soccer. And then through the association, they have a bunch of other sports. And para hockey or sledge hockey was one of them. And that's kind of how I got into it. A bunch of the people I played soccer with also played hockey. So through them, I was able to find my way there.
So how do you think, being involved in, or how do you feel rather, being involved with para hockey, sledge hockey, as you've mentioned, how do you feel that's kind of helped maybe you to feel more comfortable with your disability and just kind of, as well as being just included in such an incredible group of people?
Yeah, it totally is a game changer, I guess. I think most people would agree with me to finally find that community and environment of those people that people just kind of understand you and all the things you go through. You don't have to explain it. Everyone just kind of knows what it feels like and how it is. So just that community sense was a really big piece of it. And then just finding your confidence in a sport that you can play with no barriers and it's kind of meant for you. It's just a very welcoming community and just a place that you can just feel like yourself and have the confidence to do something in that environment and context that you may not be able to do with able-bodied people.
I love that because that's what should always be about that. It should just be about you being able to just be you,
Hmm.
right? Regardless of your abilities. Do you remember those first moments and kind of what it felt like to finally find that spot and to find these people and just like the thrill of being involved in sports? Do you remember those moments?
Yeah, I actually do. So the very first time I did try para hockey, I was 7 years old. But my mom told me that practice was too late at night, so I couldn't start yet. So she made me wait till I was 9 years old to really start with the team and do a full season. But just honestly, it's just like freeing being on ice and being able to skate with just no barriers there. It was just freeing. It was really awesome to just skate around and I was skating around, I was playing hockey. It was awesome.
Were there ever those moments where you doubted yourself that this was the right path for you?
Honestly, I don't think so. Even from 9 years old, I felt like I was meant to be there and I was gonna play hockey no matter what. And I didn't even know about the women's national team at this point. Like it didn't really exist. So it wasn't something that I was even striving towards yet. I just knew I wanted to play hockey, so just kept going with it.
I want to know as well, you know, the obstacles. What were some of those
Mhm.
obstacles that you feel you faced early on? I mean, we've mentioned, first of all, practices being too late. That's definitely an obstacle that you have to overcome. But what were some of those other
Yeah.
obstacles early on, but also those obstacles as you've continued your career?
Yeah, I think probably the first one I faced was always just being I was the only girl when I started. It wasn't until about my second season that I got another female teammate. So just always playing against the boys and the guys was harder, but I didn't really care. I just went out there and I was gonna hit whoever I wanted to hit, and they were gonna hit me, and it was fine. But growing up through that and growing up and playing with the guys as we all got older, becomes increasingly harder to keep up. I think that was definitely my biggest barrier, I think, just trying to find my place as a girl in this sport that's very male dominated. And then now barriers are kind of now being with the women's team, just the barriers we've faced as a team to, get recognition and get exposure. But I think we've come a long way, so that's a good part.
Yeah, and that actually kind of is actually a really good segue into something that you kind of touched on it a little bit a moment ago, just around not really not having those people to look up to in this space. Now that
Mhm.
you are one of those people who people like yourself can look up to, what does that
Mhm.
mean to you to kind of be that role model and to be really supporting this next generation of incredible athletes, regardless of their abilities?
It's so cool, honestly, and just even now being on the team, this is my 10th season, which is insane to me, but we have teammates who've come on last season, this season, who are like a full 10 years younger than me, and being able to like see them as they were kids playing and now being on the same team as them, it's kind of a smack in the face, like, wow, like first of all, I've been here for a really long time, and I'm only 25 still, and just the impact that myself and everyone around me that has been playing on this team for so long has had in getting that next generation of girls up has just been incredible. So I don't know, I don't think about it too much, but I definitely know that we're all setting an example here, so it's really cool.
Okay, I have to ask. So 10 years with the program. What does that mean to you, especially for you personally, but as you've kind of alluded to, over those 10 years, you've seen the growth, you've seen the impact. What does that also mean to you, especially looking forward for yourself, but for that next generation?
Oh man, I think just my journey and when I started at 14, we like and where we've come to now, like back when I was 14, like we barely had jerseys with our own logos kind of thing, and people really didn't know we existed at all. And now being, on our way to our first world championship and being seen with the PWHL and like having commercials and big companies and stuff support us and see us and sponsor us in the past has been just like such a big deal. And I never thought that we would ever see that or ever get to experience that. So it's been really just a dream, honestly, and just a whirlwind of things that have happened in those 10 years, I think.
Like you said, there's more visibility, there's more eyeballs on you, there's more funding, all of those things. How inspiring is that for you as you look towards where you are currently in your career, but also for the future of you and this sport?
Yeah, it definitely helps us believe a lot more about our biggest dream, which is, of course, getting to the Paralympic Games since we're not quite there yet. We've been looking to 2030 for the past couple years, so I know, like in my mind, that's always been a circle date, 2030. Like, let's get there. So, just seeing where we've come with all these past world challenges and just how it's grown not only in the country but across the world, very inspiring to think that we can actually get to the Paralympic Games.
Yes, absolutely. And I can't wait to get to that day. And it's now no longer just a circle on the calendar. You're actually there. That will
Yeah.
be an incredible part of your career. Um, when you look back on your career and the last 10 years with this program, what has family meant to you?
Oh, definitely means the world. Like I've had the most support from my family, my friends, and everyone back home. Just even in the beginning days and now even just fundraising too, always being supported getting support from them and their friends and stuff, and always being able to just push the agenda to try to just help me reach my own goals. And even the small things like having my parents come out to my practices or fly wherever I am to come watch my games, like that just means the world to me. So
This episode is brought to you by MB Performance Nutrition, fueling the next generation of hockey players. Whether your athlete is just starting out or chasing next level performance, MB Performance Nutrition has free resources to help, like a meal timing guide and protein powder buying checklist. Founded by Melissa Bufunos, a certified holistic nutritionist and former elite hockey player, MB Performance Nutrition also offers one-on-one coaching, team workshops, and more. Learn more at melissabufunos.com. That's MELISSABOUFOUNOS.com. You have been involved in multiple sports through the Paralympic Sports Association while you were growing up. When you think back to those experiences, being involved in a lot of different sports, how do you think that helped to contribute to your overall development as an athlete?
I think just being exposed to all these other things and just meeting people through all these sports as well has been a big part of my journey. Like I also did skiing, I did a little bit of golf. I definitely hockey's been the forefront of my life, but just being able to have all those other experiences and meet a bunch of other people, I think has been really, really, really cool.
How do you think being involved in those other sports ultimately also helped you with hockey more specifically?
I think, first of all, just having the opportunity to explore all these other para sports, adaptive sports in general, like as an option for people, is just incredible that there are so many different associations out there and like adapted versions of these sports exist has been really, really awesome. I feel like from a young age, I was pretty tunnel visioned on hockey, which I don't know if was maybe the best thing, which I guess turned out for me, I think having different outlets too that were apart from hockey when I was so young to like, oh, like this weekend, no, we're gonna like go to the ski hill and we're gonna go skiing, and that's something I could do with friends and family instead. That was just another way that I could be active and participate in activities with people. So that was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then there's nothing wrong with, maybe it could be that you're testing out a bunch of different sports to find out what kind of fits with you best. Or maybe it's like you said, just an opportunity for you to, hey, I get to do I'm playing hockey all the time, but this is just a nice break where I'm not playing hockey for a moment. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's all it is too. Um, you have also competed with Team Alberta on the co-ed side.
Mhm.
Um, what was that like?
Yeah, it was awesome. And I'm actually still with Team Alberta, so we're hoping to head back to nationals this year and see what happens. But growing up, I think the group that I grew up in when I was a junior at 9 years old, a lot of us were around the same age and we all came up together. So a bunch of those guys, when we all played on Team Alberta as teenagers, we won our very first like national championship. We won like the first three ever. That was an incredible like growing opportunity. And a bunch of them have even now ended up on the men's national team. So it was really, really just interesting to grow up with such a group of talented skill at that age. So playing on Team Alberta as a teenager with all those guys, it was definitely, I'd say, probably the biggest growth period in my career where I was able to kind of take that next step where we were all kind of just pushing the boundary. Those guys were trying to push to make the net like the development team and the men's national team. I was there trying to push the boundaries with the women's team and see where I could go with the men's game. So we were just all pushing each other to be our best, and it was a really competitive environment.
And how, we talked earlier about how you've seen the program grow. What about the co-ed side as well, and your experiences there, and maybe the focus, the attention that you're getting in that space as well? How do you see that growing, or how has that grown to this point, and what are you looking forward to moving forward as well in that space?
Yeah, I think once we kind of started with the provincial teams, the co-ed provincial teams, we made nationals quite a big thing in Canada. Now, so many different provinces compete as to where we started with only like four. And even now, I think so many of the women are playing on the provincial teams co-ed with the men. So that was definitely a really big growth piece too, for their like our side of the game to get them into that space as well to, like I said, continue to push that boundary into a really competitive environment with the guys as well.
Yeah, and that's what it's really all about too, right? It's not just about what's happening now, it's about what's coming up and how you can help to redefine what this program looks like now for the next generation. Again, goes back to that you're a role model for so many out there, which is just so incredible. Um, I want to fast forward to now. Um, you've had the incredible opportunity to represent Canada on the national women's para hockey team. What did it mean to you to put on that jersey for the first time?
I actually probably remember the one pretty accurately. It was just like first of all to like see my name on the back of like a Team Canada jersey was just like whoa, like this is crazy. I was only 14, so I don't know if it really sunk in. Like I think it means a lot more maybe to me now, or like I can kind of see the more importance of like representing the country, or you know what I mean? So just being able to represent Canada is a big deal in itself, obviously. So I think every time, just when I do throw on that jersey, taking a moment to recognize that and realize that has been a really big deal.
Do you ever like when you when you think back to when it all started for you, did you ever feel like that was like that could be an opportunity for you to be able to wear that jersey?
I always wanted it to be, but I wasn't sure like how it could be or what it would look like. But I knew I wanted to take the sport to the highest level that I could. And when I found out about the women's national team and kind of got in with the program and kind of realizing that this could be a reality and we could go to the Paralympics and represent Canada, it was just like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do here.
Okay, I want to pause on that for a moment because I really love that idea of being able to put on that jersey and know that you're working towards something. It's something bigger than yourself, but being able to wear it at the Paralympics as well. With that kind of in mind, how again we talked about motivating and inspiring before, but how motivating is that too to be able to put on that jersey, especially at a the World Championships, the inaugural World Championships coming up here as well.
Yeah, that's definitely something we've always dreamed of as well, and I didn't know that would ever happen or when it would happen. And then I think about the Paralympics, I've always just told myself like I don't know when it's gonna happen or how long it's gonna take, but whenever it happens, I will be there and I will keep playing and I will wear that jersey and keep pushing the game for everyone that's coming after me. So yeah, it's just crazy to think about, to be honest.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because for a lot of people, this could be really discouraging. And whether it's the funding, whether it's just like you're just not getting eyeballs on it, there's so much uncertainty for you.
Yeah.
Um, that in and of itself, the fact that you overcame that and you're like, you know what? It doesn't matter because it's going to happen. It's
Mhm.
going to happen. Where does that mentality for you come from? How do you stay so, I'm sure there are going to be those days, but how do you stay so positive and so motivated and stone fast that this is going to happen?
I don't know. I think it just might come from just my love of the game. Like I love hockey and like first and foremost, I just see myself as a hockey player. So I think the passion for just wanting to get to the top level and play the sport has taken me there. Like you said, I've definitely had those moments and times where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like this is taking forever. Like is this worth it?" Where it feels like there's just like another barrier, another one. It's like it's very frustrating, but I think I just it always comes down to I've even like thought about, oh, maybe I should just try another sport just to get to the Paralympics. And I've kind of tried it, but like nothing compares to hockey for me. So it always came back to no, like this is what I enjoy doing, so I'm gonna do it.
And with that in mind, and that hard work and that dedication and that, focus on overcoming those obstacles, how important has that been for, or will that be for the grassroots programs as well, especially, getting that funding at a lower level so that the younger generation can have these same opportunities and even more so moving forward because of the work that you've put in.
Yeah, I think for the grassroots programs, first of all, it's been cool to see like I said, when I started, I was kind of the only girl, but now there's a bunch of little girls out there playing in their programs, and that's been really, really cool to see. And the things that we've done in the community to just hold like women's or girls only workshops and stuff like that has been a really big part of not like our program in general, not only the national team, but just trying to, like I said, continue to grow the game in that sense and create that environment and community of like women only and like this is how it's like and this is how we run things and just immersing them in that environment and showing them that hey, you can play on the women's national team, like this is an option, this is here. That's been such a focus of aside from my own game as well. And that's so important obviously to continue to grow this game, and like I said, I have teammates that are a whole like 10 years younger than me, and just for that next generation to continue coming through.
Of that. And when we talk about your own game, you are in the midst of preparing for the inaugural Para Ice Hockey World Championships. So it's going to be 3 games against the United States. How does it feel to be preparing for such an event?
I don't know if it's quite sunk in yet. The past couple years have just been world challenges, so a little bit different. And the next one is obviously the inaugural world championship, so pretty serious for us. It's just exciting to be able to play games, honestly. We don't really get too many opportunities to play other countries, so just being here with the opportunity to play 3 games against the States is really important for us to, try to get everything in action and see where we're at right now moving into the summer.
Maybe, if you don't mind, maybe kind of highlight the differences or maybe the commonalities between the challenges that you've traditionally done and what you're expecting to. Obviously, this is the inaugural tournament, but or championship, but what you're expecting to see from this championship against the U.S.
Yeah, we've it's always the classic rivalry, Canada USA. So we've been rivals for years and years and years, and we've played them in championship games for the past couple of years now. But I think maybe the weight of this one being the very first world championship, we both want it obviously just as much, and we've always wanted the other ones, but this one does matter a little bit more to all of us. So I think our preparation for this will be a lot more like head in the game. We really have a goal here to accomplish, and we're gonna get there.
Now, this is maybe a difficult question to answer because you haven't started the championship yet, but how do you think this might help elevate that and put more eyeballs on it and create more visibility?
Yeah, so this World Championship is actually our first official step to getting to those 2030 Paralympic Games. So it was really important that we have this World Championship now so that that's still a reality for our sport. So that's the first checkbox that we're doing it this year, and that's really awesome. And just the growth of the teams that we have coming to this World Championship. In the past, we've had Canada, USA, Great Britain, and then we've had a Team World, and then we kind of split that up into Europe and Pacific last year. But this coming year, we also have Team Australia and Team Norway joining us. So that again is also the next big step in getting us to the Paralympic Games and, growing it internationally so that we have enough countries to have full competition.
I can't wait. And obviously, it goes without saying, but good luck.
Thank you.
Yes. We touched on it. We've touched on it a couple of times, but I think it's important to kind of dive into it a little bit more in depth,
Mhm.
because it's important to understand the obstacles that you've had to overcome from a funding perspective, because that's really going to
Yeah.
be a big hindrance as to either it could be a big hindrance or it could be exactly what you needed in order to take that next step. What are some of the major challenges in terms of the funding that you've experienced firsthand? And how do you think that's changed? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but how do you think that's changed and evolved over time?
Yeah, so our program, our team is not under our national sport organization. We're not supported from them. So ever since I've kind of started playing, it's been kind of a pay to play situation where we're all self-funded, and when we go to our camps and stuff, we have to pay our own way to get there. So obviously that's difficult. We have people on our team who are, as young as 15, and we also have people working full-time jobs as adults with and moms on our team. So everyone has obviously their own life outside of hockey. So that additional kind of financial burden of obviously I really want to play hockey and this team means so much, but juggling life and then trying to find the money and fundraising to go to these events is really difficult and sometimes very hard to just focus on, being an athlete and not having to worry about the money and the fundraising. So that's been definitely our biggest struggle and barrier ever since I've started playing. Like I mentioned a bit ago, we've had some funding come through for some sponsors and brands and stuff, and that's helped so much. So
This is a really good spot for us to talk about the PWHL because you've faced, in a number of ways, very similar things.
Mhm.
And when we talk about visibility, we talk about funding, we talk about, so many different aspects. As you highlighted as well, the fact that up until now, at least in the PWHL, you were still having to work while pursuing your passion for hockey. What are your thoughts, first of all, just kind of in general, on the PWHL and how this is maybe changing or having an impact on the landscape of women's hockey?
Oh, it's just been so cool to see that league blossom and girls that had those dreams of, hey, I want to grow up and be a hockey player, they can go out and do that now. And that's really awesome that that dream can be a reality for them. And it's getting women's hockey out there in people's faces, and you can't ignore it anymore. So I think piggybacking off of that and having our game try to, gain that exposure as well and be like, hey, women's pair hockey is also out there, and we have a bunch of girls who also have those same dreams that want to make those a reality where we can just be a hockey player and hopefully one day maybe that's a reality. But um, as of now, obviously we're still, like I said, students working and then playing the sport. But just the hope that one day we can get to where they are. And
Yeah, and how do you as well see the sort of partnership between the PWHL and the para hockey clubs as well? And in terms of raising awareness, we've seen some of that, but just how that's going to help open doors for athletes, especially in the para hockey world.
Yeah, we've been really grateful to the PWHL for including us in the past month or so of Women's Empowerment Month and having our athletes out there at their games and interacting with their players. I was a part of the Edmonton game, so being able to go into the dressing room and read out the starting lineups and just kind of be featured by the league and have more eyes on us. That was really a really cool opportunity to, like I said, get more exposure for our game and our team, and that's really all we're trying to do.
Okay, so take us into that memory now of yours, that moment, being able to be a part of calling out a lineup and just being around those players, knowing especially that there are a lot of parallels, are a lot of shared journeys in terms of the struggles that you've both been facing in terms of being able to get that visibility. How cool was it to be in that moment and to especially being an Alberta native?
Yeah, getting in there and reading the lineup and just kind of brushing shoulders and meeting some of them, and just that was a really cool opportunity in itself. And I like following the league and some of those players. I'm like, wow, like I wish I could grow up and be you. Like that's so cool. And I've trained in the same gym as a few of them in the past, so being able to talk to them just on those off chances too about their journeys and how they've come through the sport and like you said, parallel kind of to us. But to see where they've gotten now, really cool opportunity for me and just for to like see it happen for them as well.
How much fuel did that add to your fire to make that 2030 dream a reality?
They fueled the fire. Going in there and after we read out the lineup, we kind of talked to them or told them about how we are having our first world championship and hearing the support and the cheers from them, that was definitely another moment where I was like, okay, this is awesome and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna take this world championship and take it all the way to the Paralympics.
I also kind of want to know, sort of on the flip side, what more you think needs to be done to ensure that, women's hockey, para hockey, continues to gain that visibility and recognition. And that doesn't necessarily just have to be from a funding perspective, but for all of us. What are some of those things that you think we could be doing to help provide, again, that visibility that all of you so deserving are so deserving of?
Outside of just getting that exposure and that visibility, I think it's encouraging young girls that have disabilities that sledge hockey or pair hockey is there for them, and just continuing to grow the sport in general, I think, is something that we continuously work on. And like I said, first of all, growing it internationally is our biggest goal, to have that Paralympic Games be a success and have a bunch of competitive countries come in and play. But just showing young girls that this is an option, and just the more we can get ourselves out there, and just so people can't ignore us, basically, that hey, we're here, we're in your face, this is what it is kind of what we're hoping for.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Um, I want to now switch gears. Okay. So we are now going to enter into the final segment of the show.
Okay,
And this segment is a rapid fire question segment. Are you ready to take the rapid fire questions I have for you?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Um, it's game day.
Yes,
What is your go-to pregame meal?
something basic like chicken, rice, broccoli. I don't do anything crazy.
Um, okay, not a game day, so opposite,
Okay.
but you get a chance to you're just relaxing. It's
Mhm.
there's no practice, there's no game, there's nothing going on. You're like, I'm gonna treat myself. What
Okay,
is that what is that treat for you?
I like sushi a lot.
Okay.
um
Any particular sushi roll or
Dynamite rolls are in the mix.
good call. Good call.
A
That's always
lot
a
of
good
dynamite rolls.
yeah, 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 good. Um, any superstitions or game day rituals?
I always put my right side of equipment on first. Has to be that way. I will, if I accidentally like pick up my left shin pad, I'll have to put it down, put the right one on first.
W-
I don't know
Was
why
there
that.
a reason for that?
No, it just feels right to me.
If there was an opportunity for para hockey athletes to showcase their skills alongside the PWHL players, what do you think that would be?
Ooh, I think it would be awesome to get those women in sleds and play like a little game with them. Show them the ropes a little, get in a little scrimmage.
I like that. I like that. That's a good answer. Yeah, that would be incredible. Okay, let's make sure that we're going to make that happen. We're going to do it.
Awesome.
Um, what is your go-to pump up song?
Anything Taylor Swift. Big Swiftie.
Okay.
Anything. Maybe I always say like Ready for It or Style. Like I know it's pretty basic, but I am a Swiftie, I swear. I went to see her in concert and it was awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So expand on that. Where was it? How was it? All the details.
Oh, all the details. I went to Vancouver nights 1 and 2, so I went twice,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was incredible. I was on the floor on the second night. Just honestly, best nights ever. It was like the day after I graduated from my master's program, so straight off to Vancouver and had the time of my life.
Wow. What a way to kind of embark on post grad life. How incredible was that? That's so amazing. And you saw it twice. So there can be no doubt that you are officially a Swiftie. What's one thing that people don't know about you?
I usually use that in the context of not sport, and I say I play on the women's national team, and it's like a thing. But uh, I could just piggyback off what I was just talking about. I just got my master's degree in exercise physiology, so I'm a clinical exercise physiologist on the side.
Do you think that your life journey impacted your decision to get into that?
I think definitely like that career path is kind of the marriage of all my interests. So it was something that was really like appealing to me. So I definitely wanted to do something in that realm and be able to, I think my biggest goal with it is to help people with disabilities and just like adapted sport and work in that kind of space and push the scientific agenda there is something I'm interested in too.
What is something that remains on your bucket list that is not, I mean, the circle of 2030 is definitely top of that list, I'm sure. But what's
Mhm.
something else that's on your bucket list?
In life, let's see. I'm a big Oilers fan, so I really want to like go see them in every away arena, like go watch them on like a big road trip or something and go to almost every NHL barn and see the Oilers play.
Lastly, for you, what's a lesson that you've learned through your hockey journey that you wish more young players knew?
It sounds so cliche, but it's just you can dream or do anything when you put your mind to it. and the hard work like is gonna have to happen, but it will come and it'll all be worth it in the end. I think as I've talked about before, like there's so many barriers that could have just knocked me right down or been like, this isn't really worth it anymore. But I don't know, just having that goal set in mind and being like, okay, I'll just do whatever I can to achieve it is something that I think, like, yeah, people, if they can really just zero in on that, I think they can achieve anything they want.
And I think not only is that a perfect way to end the show, but I think that also is something that's advice that can apply to anything. It does, you don't have to be an athlete to be able to take that advice. So I think that's very that covers a lot of people, and I love that. I love that advice. Um, I want to say a huge thank you to you, Alanna Mah, for taking the time out of your busy schedule, quite literally just before practice, taking time to join the show, to share your story. It's incredible. It's so inspiring. And I know that there are a ton of people who are going to be rooting for you, rooting for the program, and rooting for that 2030 dream to become a reality. So thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome to talk about all things hockey.
And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow hockey fans. It really helps us grow and bring you more incredible stories from around the world of women's hockey. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time on Rinkside Rundown. Cheers.